I'll be doing an 11-month fellowship, and what I will be looking at is how successfully Stockton has been able to implement the universal basic income measure that they put into place. Essentially what it is a $1.2 million philanthropic donation that is going to be given out at the rate of $500 a month to families in Stockton.
I'm very excited to be advising Mehraan in this new role. Often, people who are on the front lines of policy don't have the luxury of someone who's helping them to analyze the effect of their policies. And so I think Mehraan is going to be able to make a big difference to the mayor and others there as they try to adjust these policies, potentially real time, as they learn more about their effects.
Hi, how are you guys doing? Hi, I'm Mehraan. Nice to meet you. Have you heard about the Stockton Economic Empowerment Demonstration? It's the first universal basic income measure that has been led by a municipality in the entire nation. Have you heard anything about it? No. So the idea is that 100 individuals will get $500 a month for a period of 18 months. 1,000 mailers will be sent out to random addresses in these areas, and then they'll respond saying either yes, we want to be a part of this study, or no, we don't. Of those people who come back and say yes, 100 people will be randomly selected to receive these cash disbursements. It's 100% hands-off, 100% saying we have faith in our citizens. And studies time and time again have shown that when people are in the predicament where they need help, they're going to spend the money on the things that they need. Right?
I think getting settled in here has been a very interesting time in my life. I think that this being my first job, me being 21, having just graduated from school, I also do feel like a sense of independence. As far as the work, the night before the first day at like 10:30, 11, Mayor Tubbs Snapchat messaged me, said team meeting at 8. I thought he was joking. I thought they were gonna welcome me to the team in some funny way or something, but no, there was a real team meeting at 8. And I think that I felt a bit like, deer in headlights. The plan is to send bi-weekly updates on everything that I'm doing to Mark Duggan with a focus on seed, and he'll be reading them over, and then I'll get there in person like once a month just to have conversations back and forth about what the next step should be.
I love Stanford. It's just as home to me as Stockton. Love the work SIEPR is doing. I met Mark and he mentioned some of the work he was doing and how he was interested in using some of SIEPR's expertise on some of the economic issues Stockton's facing. And I said, well, Mark, look, you have this commitment to service. You have a Stanford student who's willing to come and do work, especially on economic issues. And then 2 months later, because Mark is a magician, he said, okay, we figured it out, we're gonna have our first postgraduate fellow. And I think it just makes a lot of sense for SIEPR because the economy affects everything, but there's a focus there around how do we deal with perplexing economic challenges that cities, communities, states face today. The way we framed the 3 things was super helpful.
My role is multifaceted. Lori, who is the executive director, I work with her. Lori and I were at the community resource fair and we were talking to people about seed, trying to get the word out. Basically, at this point, we're just trying to communicate with the residents of Stockton so that they're aware of it before any of the cash disbursements start or any of the eligibility questions are asked.
So if you live in an area where the median income is $46,000 or less, you're automatically eligible.
Okay.
How do you track how the money is spent?
So part of my role will be helping them iron out the details about how we're going to actually track the data, how we're going to communicate with the recipients of this cash benefit. We don't know if this policy is going to ultimately change people's lives forever, but $500 a month, if you're working 2 jobs, if you have children, even if that's 2 more hours a day with your child, that changes people's lives.
I think the basic income stuff we're doing is very exciting. And I think that's the opportunity for SIEPR to continue to partner with the city of Stockton and figure out how do we do this and how do we do it right. Because I tell people all the time, Stockton's very similar to the vast majority of communities in this country. So I think things that work in Stockton have the potential to scale, but we don't know what works unless we measure it. And I think that's where SIEPR could be very helpful.
It's cool to be a part of a group that is really pushing the envelope, and I think that we have the opportunity to really shift the narrative on what we expect local government to do. Mayor Tubbs, he has a very, very strong vision, and he's done a lot of work to change the narrative with respect to Stockton.
This is, to some extent, an experiment. In advising Mehraan, one of the things that I've already said to him and that I'll continue to remind him as he goes through this is that the effect of a policy isn't always what one expects. I think it's really important to do the best research you can to get to the truth. And I've had a number of times in my career where I embarked on a project and maybe if I was rooting for an answer, it didn't go the way maybe that I wanted. But I think the pursuit of truth is the key with research.
I think that a lot of things had to fall into place for me to be here. I was telling my mom this the other day. I had a 14-hour day followed by a 13-hour day, and I'm happily coming back at 8 in the morning the next day. The things that we're doing here are cutting edge, and what's happening is that the nation is paying attention. So that's exciting for me to be a part of, and it's a story of hope, ultimately.